Hello. So in this video, we're going to talk about how we paid off our mortgage and what we did and all the sacrifices we made and everything that we learned along the way.
Like most Americans, we had a 30-year mortgage, and our plan was to pay it off in 30 years.
Yeah.
And most of the time, thinking about that mortgage just made me nervous. I was nervous because I didn't want to carry that amount of debt for 30 years.
Yes.
And I've been a lot of times in our family. I've got to laid off from work, right? I've laid off from a job, and there's a lot of uncertainty. And it's just worse when you have those tough times and uncertainties, and then you're carrying up so much debt, which is a mortgage.
To start off, so in most of our marriage, we were renting in apartments. And we lived in apartments for many years before we decided to buy a house. When we were pregnant with James, towards the last 4 to 5 months of the pregnancy, we decided that we probably would need more space
Yeah.
because our apartment was 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We've already had 2 kids and the 2 of us. So we could have made it work to stretch it out, but we were like, we have enough money now. Let's put some money down and get a house. And we moved to a different area of Texas and we bought the house. And it's been a great decision because the kids have grown up in this house and made a lot of memories. And it's been a perfect fit for our family.
Yeah, we got the house in 2017.
April 2017.
April 2017, like the third day of April or the first day of April, I think, in 2017. And then at that time, I think the house was listed for about $312,000. When we got the house, we got it, of course, and then we started doing the regular payment. At the end of the first year, I looked at a payment statement. It showed after 1 year, we paid about $22,000 in mortgage. And the honest truth is that only about $3,000 went to the principal. That was nerve-wracking. The second year was the same thing. We paid $22,000 to $23,000 because almost every year when the Denton County they assess your taxes, the taxes keep increasing. So your mortgage increases, you pay, and at the end of the year, you find out that after all those payments, you've paid about $23,000 to $25,000 in mortgage that year, and only about $3,000 goes to the mortgage. The rest is fees and taxes and interest. And with mortgages, the interests are put upfront on the mortgage. So when you have a 30-year mortgage, the first 18 years actually of that mortgage, you actually pay mostly interest. You don't even kick into the principal the real way. It's around the 18th year that the principals begin to go down, and then you have less interest. So I personally thought that was a ripoff. So if you have a mortgage and you've been having like about 5 years,
Yeah.
just so you know, you've been paying mostly interest. Yeah, you need to take your time and look at your statement.
Yes.
And I came to my wife, I said, we cannot continue this way. And 2019, we had a lot of bad news in the family.
My mother died in 2019.
And I remember when she was sick, I told my boss, because we knew it was going to be terminal. My boss called me to tell me that I'm going to be laid off from work.
Yeah, so he was going to be laid off then too.
Yes, and we had just one income.
He was the only one working at the time.
Yeah, for us, ever since we got married at that time, I told Tiffany to stay at home because she could make money, but we had 3 kids at the time. It would not make sense for her to go to work because she would work all her salary.
And we'd be paying the daycare.
Yeah, we're paying the daycare.
Or someone to watch our kids.
Yeah, it did not make sense at all. So
And it's always better, in my opinion. Of course, I agree that if you don't have any choice, daycares or people to watch your kids is perfectly fine. But if you're able to watch your own kids and take care of them, I totally feel that it's good to take care of your own kids till they're the age of school age or whatever. Just stay home with your kids and raise them. So thankfully, my husband was on the same page, and we were able to have me stay home and watch the kids until James started kindergarten. So as soon as James was 5 and it was time for him to start kindergarten, Stans and I sat down and talked that it would be good for me to learn some sort of skill so I could help contribute to the bills and to the paying off of the house and whatever else we needed. So it would be equally both of us working and contributing to the household needs for paying things. So we talked about it, and he said that he could train me in IT, like Linux engineering. And I was like, okay. So we decided in January of 2021 that I would start learning Linux. So my husband is my wonderful teacher who taught me everything that I know about Linux, open source services. And so he taught me everything I knew about Linux. So I studied for about 5 months. And then after the 5 months of training with him, I took the Red Hat engineer test. It's the Red Hat certified engineer test. And I passed that. And then so now I'm Red Hat certified. And then I started looking for jobs and applying, and I got an opportunity to work for Amazon. So I got offered a position to work at Amazon, and I worked at Amazon as a cloud support engineer. So I worked there for actually as a cloud support engineer for about a year and a half. Well, actually, a year and a half-ish. And that was a good opportunity for me. And so I was bringing in a lot of income for us because cloud support engineers and jobs with Linux and IT, they pay really well. So I was able to get that money coming in for us as a family. And then also within my year and a half there, I decided to transfer to a new team. And then I was working more in a cybersecurity type position. So that was very helpful for me to work doing that to help contribute to the families.
That was definitely a big blessing for us because it did bump up our income.
Yes. So 2 IT incomes because he also was working IT. He has way more experience. He has like 20 something years of experience, and then me now bringing also an IT income. So the 2 IT incomes together paid off really nice.
Yeah, it really paid off really nice, and for the most part, we were able to pay our mortgage fine as usual. But now we're able to save way much money, and so it really did speed up. So it definitely helps when you have joint income with your spouse.
Yes,
it helps. If you're a husband and wife, it's important to be on a team.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Attack that mortgage as a team.
Yes.
And the amazing thing is that she had a very good job, very, very good pay. At one point, she was actually earning way more money than I was making, right? And so that was a big blessing for us. But also going about the teaching phase, we enjoyed our classes together. It was sometimes challenging teaching your own spouse.
Yes, that's true.
But it was a journey that I did enjoy. So that was our main strategy. We got into tech. I was already into tech for 19 years, and then she joined me.
Yes.
Even now, she's within cybersecurity.
Yes.
So those incomes were able to just scatter out mortgage in less than no time. So let's say, for example, let's say you get into tech, and then you're making, let's say, 100,000, which is kind of the average.
Mm-hmm.
And the entry barrier is low. It's not hard to get into tech because most people, if you want to do nursing, you might have to go to school for about 3 years, right?
A long time.
A long time, yeah. And other careers, teaching, other careers, they'll go a long time, and it's not really easy to scale very fast in terms of the money.
Yes, and I also think that going into IT, some people do, Stans did, but you don't have to have a college
No, you don't.
like degree, or you don't have to have some sort of big master's or bachelor's or some sort of degree to be successful in IT. A lot of this stuff is easy to learn, and it makes you pretty successful without all the extra money you've got to put into school. Student loans, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's a huge plus to not have student loans too. So
yeah. Well, I did have some.
he has student loans, but I didn't have any student loans when we came into the marriage.
Yeah. So the tech stuff really did help because
Yes.
you could do an IT course, maybe just 6 months, 5 months, 3 months, and then you're ripe for the market. And let's be conservative. Let's say you made only $70,000.
Yes.
You pick up the next 70,000. That's 140. And if you work well, pay your taxes, maybe at the end of the year you are left with 100. That's 100 that you could put to your mortgage. So even with something as low as 70K, you can look at paying your mortgage in 3 years. Now this is for the average home. That's about $300,000.
Yeah.
And that's one thing too. Don't go and buy a very big house. You really don't need it.
Yeah.
When we bought our house, it was really not expensive. It was $312,000. So that wasn't really expensive at all.
Definitely.
But when I'm looking at it, we have enough space, but I think it's a little bit too big because we have so many rooms we don't even use.
That's true.
The theater room, we've not been there.
We do have a lot of space that we don't use on a regular basis, and we do have a lot of guests and family that come to visit or stay with us for a while. But on a regular basis, every day, in and out day, we don't go to every single room of the house.
Yeah.
So it's pretty big for what we need, and it just has worked for us.
Yeah. So if you're doing it like in a tech job, let's say you're making $100,000 a year, your spouse bringing $100,000, or you get two jobs, right?
Yes.
You always remember, this is my philosophy. My loyalty is not only to the company I work for. I am loyal to them, but my number one loyalty is to my family.
Yes.
I have to work for my family. I have to provide for my family, and I am in for the security of my family.
Yes.
So if I have to do two jobs to make sure my family is secure, I will do it. So generally, let's say you have a mortgage that is $300,000. On average, 300,000, 350, 250,000. That kind of mortgage, you should be able to knock it off within 2 years. Honestly speaking, if you,
Yes. No. You have to say, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
And some ways to help with being able to pay this off with a certain time is you have to be disciplined in certain ways of your life.
Yeah.
Stans and I are both disciplined in ways where we're not flashy people.
We are not flashy people.
Not at all.
The only thing that is flashy about me is that I'm very handsome, and she likes it, so I'm just flashy too.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a beautiful, flashy smile.
Oh, how?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he does. A beautiful, flashy smile, and he's got a great personality.
Yeah.
But in general, like, we're not flashy people.
Yeah.
So we're very frugal in our living. So, like, for examples, we do not shop a lot for ourselves.
That's true.
Like, clothing-wise, I don't shop literally for myself. I've only shopped literally like 2 or 3 times an entire year.
That's right.
And those are just basics of things I need. I will just wear clothing if it still fits me for several years. If it doesn't go bad, then continue to wear it.
Thank you so much. We've been married for 11 years.
11 years, yes.
She still has a lot of clothes that she had before I married her. We still have them in the house.
Yes.
So every now and then she would wear them, and that's a lot of savings for us.
Yes, yes.
And I really thank you a lot for being such an understanding wife, because on several occasions she's told me, you know what, it's the kids first. It's not like it's only the kids first, but we have to do the things that really, really matter first, so we can have a better life in the future.
Yeah, like if we get invited, which we don't, we go to parties that people invite us to, but we're not ones that go to every single engagement or party that's out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because that just brings sometimes extra money and income, and we just have priorities of other things that we need to focus on. But like, for example, I don't need to go and buy a new dress or new things for every single get together. If I have something in my closet that works, I'll wear it. And if people think that I wear things over and over, that's okay.
That's their problem.
That's their problem. At least
Because I like you when you don't wear anything at all. I like
Yes.
it anyway. So yeah, that's their problem.
Okay, but at least now you got me laughing.
It's okay.
At least at least I have. I'm not worrying about, oh, I'm spending lots of money on this clothing, and then now how am I going to pay for certain other things in my life that are more important? But in just general, so we don't have to keep talking too much about this specific clothing thing, we're just pretty frugal in our shopping. Yeah. We like nice clothing, we buy nice clothing, and we buy from nice stores and things, but we're also make sure that we're not spending a lot, and we don't shop very expensive. So we're pretty frugal.
Yeah, for me, when she says nice clothing, for me, that's the George section at Walmart for me personally. My shirts are always $10, nothing more than $10. Any expensive shirt I've ever wore was bought to me by Tiffany. But
Yes.
but as long as
Or
I'm not
family
naked,
members at Christmas time.
yeah, some good friends, yeah.
Yes.
Like what I'm wearing was bought to me by
Juliana.
was bought for me by Juliana.
From
Good
my friend Juliana.
It's more expensive, yeah, but
Yes.
but we keep it cheap, right? Like this philosophy where Dave Ramsey says, if you live like no other person, you end up living like no other person. Be frugal and save your money.
Yes.
I remember even when I was dating Tiffany, I did not try to impress her. I did not try to buy her jewelry and all that stuff. No, her wedding ring was about maybe $100, I think. And I mean, I've seen young people. I've talked to them personally. Like, hey, don't spend $3,000 for an engagement ring for a woman. I think that's just. I think it's foolish. Sorry.
And sorry, on a side note here, if that woman can't live with you have not spending like $3,000, $2,000 on a wedding ring or whatever engagement ring, I'm sorry, but that's not good. Like a good, I'm not saying she's not a good woman, but I'm just saying her priorities are not straight.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how much a man spends on your ring. It's, of course, it should come from the heart, knowing that this person bought something for you because they love you for who you are. Mm-hmm. And to me, he didn't spend a lot of money on my ring, but that's okay. I don't care. I love him for who he is. I don't love the ring more than I love him. I love him more than the ring. Mm-hmm. And also, for more example, when we were first married, he had a small Dodge Neon, like not the most big, fancy, nice car. Yeah. So it was a Dodge Neon, and it actually had a dent in, like it was hit some way on the passenger side door, the door that I got in all the time. So it kind of creaked in and out when we got in and out. And did I complain about it? No. Because do I care about that? No. It got us from point A to point B. Excellent. We were safe. We got everywhere we needed. Yeah. And I loved him for him. Did I going to be like, oh, he's got a trashy car? Nope. Yeah. I love him for who he is. So. And
I remember the car at the time was the Dodge Neon. Yes, I bought it at a police auction for $2,000. It was not the best car in the world, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. There were times we were driving and it was shaking like a rocket. And we got used to living with the car. And then we did what we could do. Yes. We did not impress people. We go to parties, like people who make even less money than me have like the most fancy vehicles.
It's because they're spending their money in ways cars. Like for flash. Yeah,
show.
Like we're not showy people. Yeah. We like nice things, but we're not going to be showing to show off to people. So we learn to live with what we have and what we need. A flashy car is not what we need. A flashy car is what people want.
Exactly.
So those are not things that are a priority and what we need.
I remember you were pregnant with Grace at the time, and I had an accident with that car, and to open the door was literally dented. You have to push it and get out of the car. Mm-hmm. But that is what we could afford, and we made sure we save our money for the essential things. So yes. I would really encourage you, if you're trying to get out of debt and try to pay off a mortgage, don't waste your time impressing people.
Yes,
honestly, it's a waste of your time.
It's a waste of your
it's
time.
A waste of your
if you
energy.
Want to live a life of freedom,
yes,
and to not be worrying about banks on your throat every minute, that's not a life you want to live.
That's right.
And also, more tips would be like, I know a lot of people like to eat out a lot. Yeah. Like go out to restaurants, eat food all the time out of the house. That's also extra expense that you're spending all the time when you could be cooking at home or just saving more money. It's okay to go out occasionally. We go out occasionally, but we're not going out a lot to eat at restaurants. We cook at home, and then occasionally we'll take our family out for a treat to eat somewhere. Yes. So that's a good way to save money. Another thing is people who like to drink coffee. See, trust me, I am a huge, huge coffee lover. I literally have coffee every single day. But I've learned you got to fix coffee at home. So I have coffee at home that I have, and I've saved money. I don't go out to the espresso shops and buy coffee all the time. Occasionally, I'll treat myself to a coffee because I like to also go out and enjoy a coffee from a coffee shop that has all the nice mix-ins and the good flavor. So sometimes I'll do that, but you also need to learn to not go out every single morning on your way to work or whatever you may do to go out and buy coffee from coffee shops, or if you're not into coffee, don't go out to smoothie shops or juice shops every single time and getting food out of the house. Instead, you should be preparing your food at home because it will save you money, and it's usually healthier, to be honest. So those are some tips that we feel that's very important to do. So, and also vacations. We don't splurge a lot on vacations. Him and I, in our entire marriage of 11 years, like this last year, we went to Dubai. That was our first trip, big, most expensive trip we've ever been on in our marriage. Yeah. And that was the first trip we ever went on after being married, just the two of us. So that was the most expensive, but it was celebrating our 10-year anniversary. So we spent a little bit more money to splurge to enjoy ourselves. Yeah. But with our family, when we go on trips, we've taken our kids to Florida and other places like around the United States. We've never been out of country, but we always are somewhat conservative with our spending to make sure that we're not overspending. And those are just things that are very helpful. So try not to be too flashy and be spending unnecessary money that you don't currently have. A lot
That's
of people like to use their credit cards to bill up things. That's not a good choice to do too, unless you know that you have a huge income that you can pay off those credit cards and also have the money, extra money to like pay your other bills or to live comfortably. But we definitely don't think that that's a good idea, because if you want to pay off your mortgage, you got to sacrifice in a lot of ways.
You have to sacrifice a lot. And in the past 5 years, I think 4 years, the way we've been celebrating birthday parties have been different. We used to throw a lot of big parties, invite hundreds of people to make a
lot
party.
of people, yeah.
But now we don't do that. We just call the child, we sit around the table, we pray together with the child, or myself or my wife, and then
We may have like one or two
one or
friends
two
or a
close
family
friends.
member.
Yes, one or two close friends or family members. And then we pray, and then we share the cake, and that is it, right? So I have friends who spend thousands of dollars on birthdays. I think that's not the way to go. And don't accept pressure. Like, I remember we were invited to an event at one time, and they said we all have to wear white shoes and black shoes. So it meant that for us to attend that event, we had to go shopping for, they call it black and white party, for clothing. So I was like, I'm not going to attend that event. And I actually called the host of the event and scream at him. You don't get to tell me what to dress or how to dress to come to your event, because I just think, what if people can afford? I cannot continue swiping credit card to impress people. I've done that in the past, but now I'm an old man, and I think I'm a little smarter now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over time, when you become mature and older, you learn the things that are important and things that are not important, and how you should spend your money.
Yeah.
So
we'll take it again to the basic stuff, and we've also had a lot of hard times during our marriage. I remember when my mother-in-law died, I got laid off, and then after that, I got a new job working for another Japanese company. And then COVID happened. And then I got laid off again.
Yeah.
When you're working, you make a lot of money. That's the truth.
Yes.
So don't spend your money. There was this favorite passage that I love in scripture that says we should go to the ant. That even though the ant is very small, it works all summer gathering food for the winter.
Yes, true.
Because the rainy days are going to come.
Yes.
So when you're making all that money, don't go waste it on a stupid car, a foolish Corvette, a foolish GMC Trail. We have some nice cars too, but don't do that. Because when the rainy days come, you'll feel like you never worked before. Yeah, so a lot of things we are sharing with you, of course, these are no mysteries, there are no magic.
These are things that most people know.
They know, yeah.
But it's just hard to live.
It's just hard to live, it's true.
That's why if you really, really desperately want to pay off your mortgage and to live freedom, have freedom of that big payment of mortgage over your head, which usually is people's biggest payments in their entire life.
That's very true.
Is a mortgage. Then you really need to learn to sacrifice and things, so then you can finally have it paid off and you can live the life you wanted.
Yeah, and some other people, you can also get out of mortgage really, really fast by just downsizing.
That's true.
Let's say before COVID, you bought a house that was $500,000. You're just getting along with the payment. And then after COVID, we know a lot of those houses, their equity has really increased. They have really appreciated. And now your house is worth about $800,000 or $750,000. You know what, my friend? You can sell your house today and take that cash and come to another part of the country like Texas or somewhere that is cheaper, and then you buy a house there cash and you have that freedom. Believe me, people don't remember your house when they leave your house. It's worthless staying in $1 million house just trying to impress people that I live in this $1 million house. There are places in Indiana, in some other places in the South, or maybe in your own state, where you could get that same house for cheap. And then you never have to pay a mortgage for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You would pay if you decide to buy another house, but those are easy ways to get out of it. So my recommendation is buy a cheap house.
Yeah.
Something between $0 to $300,000. Those are cheap homes. And then get maybe 2 IT jobs, or you and your spouse work together. Irrespective, I'm talking maybe to younger people, but let's say you're in your 50s, late 60s. You don't need to change career.
Yeah.
But you can just change how you handle your money.
Yeah.
You join force together with your husband or your wife, and
discuss and say, okay, we need to be serious about this.
Yeah.
So these are the things that we're gonna do. Like you guys can sit down together and discuss it and write things out. like your expenses, like at a worksheet or document sheet.
Yes.
And see where see where the money you're spending is coming from.
Yes.
Go to every single thing you're spending, from your restaurant outings to the
Netflix,
coffee you have every
subscriptions.
morning. Oh yeah, that's another good thing.
Yeah.
Your subscriptions to streaming services can also be another thing that holds you back with your bills.
That's true.
Because-
You think it's very little money,
Yeah,
but that's so
it
much
adds
money.
up.
It adds up. Little secret: we've been calling our friends and using their Netflix passwords. We cannot afford to buy Netflix. Yeah, because we don't see the value in it. But when we want to enjoy a movie, we can get it from a friend and then we watch. But even still, we still encourage our friends, you know what, close that account. Don't pay for Netflix. It's a waste of your money. If you're paying $12 a year, a month, that's about 120 in 10 months, almost about $130 to $140 in a year. That's just so much money. And because it's coming out a little bit, you don't see the effect. But I'm telling you the truth, if you begin to close all those subscriptions, you would have enough money to knock off your mortgage.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, stay away from credit cards.
Yes,
Those are demons.
definitely.
I have another story for you guys some other day about those credit cards. And then attack that mortgage.
Yes.
When we started, we refinanced our house in 2021 to get a lower interest rate. And then our plan was to refinance the house and get a mortgage for 15 years term. And I said, no, we don't know what's going to happen in the future if I'm going to get laid off. So I'm still going to keep the 30 years term so that the payments will be cheaper.
Yeah.
But I will try to pay it faster.
Yes.
And in between 2021 and today, it's less than 24 months, about 18 months. We just knock it off. There were some months where we paid about $90,000 on the mortgage.
Yes.
I have those videos, and I even have the records from my mortgage payer. And then before you know, voila, the mortgage is gone. And how has your life been for the past 2 weeks since you've had no mortgage?
Well, it's definitely like you can sleep peaceful in your house.
Yeah, it's actually your house.
Yes, I can sleep peaceful in my own house,
Amen.
knowing that we don't have a mortgage laying over our heads.
Yeah.
Something happens to us that we know that our house is paid off.
Amen. You know, when you have a mortgage, the house is your house only when you pay that month, okay? If you forget to pay that mortgage, somebody's going to take it from you.
Yes, true.
Yes. So please, if also you're interested in getting into tech, I'm also a tech trainer. Just leave me a comment in the message below and say, hey, Stans, how do I get into tech? Where do I go into tech? I have a mentorship program, and my prices are quite affordable. I'm the best out there, the best of the best. I have students in Amazon, the best companies in the world is one of them. I have another one. I have about 4 of them in Amazon. I have students from all the big sectors in the world, even in Canada. So you can just reach out to me and say, hey, Stans, I want to get into tech. Can you be my mentor? And I will reach out to you privately, and I will tell you how to go from there. So I hope you pay off your mortgage within the next 24 months after watching this video.
Yes.
Some of you can pay your mortgage today if you sell your house in an expensive city and come in a cheaper and very safe neighborhood and buy a smaller house and downsize. I tell you the truth, the peace of mind, it's better than all those big stuff and all that glamour. Yeah.
Yes, very true. And so we hope you're encouraged by this video, and then maybe you've been given some ideas and tips on how maybe you can improve your finances in a way to help yourself and your family pay off your mortgage. And we, as always, we look forward to talking to you again soon. And we really love you guys. And thank you so much for your support and always supporting us and watching our videos.
Thank you so much. Just remember, if everybody is paying a mortgage in 30 years, that should not be the norm. I want you to look at yourself, look at your children in the eye today, and then you give them a target 5 years from now. Work like a team. We've always worked as a team. We hold our hands together. We pray every morning. We
Yes.
go, we attack life.
Yes.
You can do this in less than 5 years. I don't care what you say. You can do this in less than 5 years. Please don't postpone 30 years of your life. By the time you pay off the house in 30 years, imagine I would have been 72 years old when I paid off my house.
Yeah.
And I'll be talking like this. How are you doing? I just paid off my mortgage. No, I don't want to be doing that at 72. I want to do something at 72.
Yes.
And so you can live life and do other things with your life. You can buy other houses and still pay them off. But 5 years should be enough to pay off your mortgage. Don't do 30 years. Please.
Yes.
Don't do 30 years. Grow your income. Work as a team. And my brothers and my sisters, my friends,
Yes.
Sizzling Angels, see you at the top. The bottom is too crowded.
Yes.
See you at the top.
Yes. Thank
Love
you.
you guys.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.